This image appears to have nothing on it. But when we look at the alpha channel, we can see that it has this design, which will form the basis for our sign. The lettering, the logo, and the border have all been softened using Gaussian blur, and this is what will give some height to the 3D effect in our image. So let's return to the RGB component and apply the lighting effects filter. When we first open it up, we can see we can change the focus, the intensity. This is the interesting bit at the bottom. We change the texture channel to our new alpha channel. Here, our sign appears lit for us. Because we want the black lettering to be high, uncheck the white is high dialog, and now the black becomes raised. And we can make this a bit more mountainous as well. Let's say OK to that. And there is our sign, created in 3D for us. Now, one useful thing about the alpha channel is it's made for storing selections. We can load this channel as a selection. Hold Command or Control and click on it. That loads it up. What we can now do, let's hide those edges, when we now bring up the hue and saturation dialog, we can colorize just the areas that were white on the alpha channel. Let's make this a good strong red. I will say OK to that. Now we're going to add some rust to this sign. Let's go back to our alpha channel and deselect. We want to add some noise to this. Not too much. At the moment this is on 10% Gaussian noise. That may be too strong. Let's reduce this to about 5%. It's a tiny amount and we can barely see the effect here. Let's make a new layer and call it Rust. And fill this with white. When we run lighting effects again, we can now see how the image has changed because of the noise in it. Let's make that good and lumpy. We'll also reduce the intensity of the light slightly to darken it. And there is the effect of adding that tiny amount of noise to our image. Let's color this. Once again, we'll hit the colorize button. This time we'll go for a brown, rustier feel. I'll make that a bit darker. So, there's our rust on top of our sign. In order to see the sign through it, we need to paint some of this rust away. So let's add a layer mask to this and use a brush to paint out where we don't want the rust to appear. This is a fairly straightforward process. If we do it in a random way, we get the impression of the rust showing through on this rough sign, which we can still see beneath it. And there's the result.